Hey everyone, Miles here from BombSquad, here to show you the ins and outs of SCP Secret Facility and how the heck to play it. This game has to be one of the funnest multiplayer horror games I've ever played, and I've played a lot of them. But unfortunately, I keep seeing people leave the game or not even try out the game again because it was either too confusing or too difficult to understand. And I completely understand. Spawning in as a D-class and roaming the halls not knowing what the frick is going on just to get your neck snapped by a statue wearing a smiley face would make me upset too. So no worries, I'm here to explain exactly how to play SCP Secret Laboratory and how you can enjoy it too. SCP Secret Facility, or what is now known as Secret Laboratory, takes after the ever-popular SCP creepypasta that's been circulating the internet for a long time now. For those that don't know what SCP is and would like to get a better idea of what the game is based on, check out the video I linked in the description. For now, let's break down SCP Secret Laboratory so that way you can have a deeper understanding of what the game's about. There are 6 roles you can play in SCP Secret Laboratory, and each have different items and different tasks that you must complete if you are to win. But just because there are 6 different roles in SCP doesn't mean that there are 6 individual teams. In fact, these roles can be grouped together into 3 teams that work together to win. Team Foundation include the Scientists, Facility Guards, and Echo Fox teams. Their tasks include the survival of all Scientists, ensuring the capture or killing of all Class D, and finally, ensuring the killing of all SCPs in the facility. Team Chaos include the Class D and the Chaos Insurgency. Their single task is to ensure the survival of all Class D. Finally, you have Team SCP. Their task? Kill everyone. Yep, that's pretty much it for SCP. You just run in there and you see something moving, you kill it. That's what you do. Okay, now you got an idea of what the roles do. You should also have a good idea of the map structure in SCP. The map is broken up into 3 different sections with the roles of SCP spawning in different areas of the map. The first level, where Class D and Scientists, as well as some SCPs, spawn at, is known as the Light Containment Zone. Players that spawn here should be looking for key cards, guns, or anything they can find so that way they can move up to the next level. Luckily, Scientists automatically spawn in with a key card, but they'll soon find out that their key card they spawn with isn't a high enough clearance to move on to the next level. So what do I do, Miles? You telling me I'm screwed? I'm gonna be stuck here on the bottom level, get killed by some goddamn SCP? Hey, yo, chill out, man. It's a simple fix. All you gotta do is find a card that's a high enough level, or take a trip to SCP-914. Wait, Miles, I'm so confused. You just told me the SCPs are trying to kill everyone and everything. Why would I want to go to another SCP when you just told me the thing that they were going to try to kill me? I don't understand. Well, first off, you need to chill the heck out, all right, man? All right, second of all, you need to go watch the video I recommended in the description if you need to know the difference between different types of SCPs, because this SCP is a friendly SCP that's here to help you. SCP-914 is a large clockwork device that is basically there to help upgrade whatever items that you have in your inventory. That includes key cards, guns, even types of medical equipment that you use to heal yourself. You throw it in there, you throw it on the right setting, and Bob's your uncle, boom, you got the upgraded version of whatever you had previously. Most Scientists and Class D will actually upgrade their keycards all the way to the highest tier keycard, which is known as a Class 5 keycard. It's black, and it's able to access the nuke, it's able to access all the facilities on the map, and that's ideally what you want to do if you have time to do it. Unfortunately, you'll come to realize that 914 is a very popular place to capture and kill Class D and scientists. The first place an experienced player playing as an SCP will go is 914. So ideally, you want to spend the least amount of time in 914 as possible. Another key factor of the light containment zone is the time limit.
Attention, all personnel. The light containment zone decontamination process will occur in T-minus 15 minutes. All biological substances must be removed in order to avoid destruction.
That's right, there's a timer counting down that will lock down the zone and kill whatever and whoever remains, including SCPs.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me, Miles! You were telling me that there is a time limit in the light containment zone where I only have so much time to find a key card and find a gun and find all this?
Yeah, you really aren't given a very good hand when starting out as Class D, which makes it all the better when you survive as a Class D or a scientist, because the odds were so against you and you did it and you survived, and it just feels awesome. Alright, let's say that you got a high enough key card, you've got all your supplies, and you're trying to escape to move on to the next level. The next level is going to be called the Heavy Containment Zone. The Heavy Containment Zone contains the nuclear missile silo, electric gates, and the remaining SCP spawns. If you haven't run into an SCP yet, chances are you will here. But SCPs are not the only thing you need to worry about. Class Ds will also have to worry about running into facility guards and any Echo Fox teams that have spawned. Remember, their job is to ensure the capture or killing of all Class Ds.
Oh, this is a load of horse shit!
Hey, I didn't say it was going to be easy surviving as a Class D, but if you do, it feels pretty great. Now, let's assume that you've made it past the Heavy Containment Zone and have found your way to the next zone. The next zone, otherwise known as the Entrance Zone, is the upper and final zone of the map of SCP. Here you'll run into Echo Fox teams trying to capture and kill Class D, Chaos Insurgency trying to rescue Class Ds, and SCPs looking to, well, kill everything. Your objective here is to find Gate A or Gate B. Once you make your way through the gate, you'll be able to access the elevator that will take you up to the surface. Once up there, head up the hill and access the doors to your left. Then head down that catwalk and usually, with some SCPs and Echo Fox teams right on your tail, taste that sweet freedom. Important to note that when I said the Team Foundation should capture or kill all Class Ds, I really did mean capture. Facility guards and Echo Fox teams spawn in with a device called a disarmor, where it basically handcuffs the player, making them unable to hold or use items. If you disarm a Class D and allow them to escape disarmed, they actually come back as an Echo Fox member there to help your team. So keep that in mind when there's a poor Class D begging for his life, would ya?
Yeah, would ya?